Now, there's been a lot of talked about whether Alex should have taken the stand. I can assure you, when we considered what factors and what we should and should not do and considered whether he should take the stand, we never considered the likelihood, as reported to us by the jurors, that the clerk of court would go in to the sanctity of the jury room before he testified and tell the jurors, don't be fooled by his testimony, watch out for his body language, and that is what the sworn testimony that we have filed in court today says.
Now for what's trending in true crime. Becky Hill, remember her, the former clerk of court, as part of Alex Murdaugh's 2023 murder trial, is now out on bond this morning after she's been charged with perjury and obstruction of justice. These charges stem from Hill and that January 2024 inquiry when former Chief Justice Jean Toll from the South Carolina Supreme Court made a ruling that a new trial for Murdaugh was not necessary under the circumstances. Murdaugh, of course, convicted of murdering his wife Maggie and his son Paul, and he requested a new trial based on allegations of jury tampering that went to Hill and her conduct dealing with the jury. Well, now authorities say that Hill lied during that hearing with the justice. Here's more on that.
Did you ever allow anyone from the press to view these sealed exhibits?
No, ma'am.
Did you allow Netflix to ever examine the exhibits for trial?
No, ma'am.
So the clerk of court, her job involves taking care of the jurors, overseeing case exhibits, and helping the judge during the trial. So now the big question is, will what's going on with her have any effect on Alex Murdaugh? Because we know he's still trying to get out of prison. He's still trying to get a new trial. We know his attorneys are certainly hoping that this all helps. Let's bring in an attorney very close to this case, represented some of the victims on it, attorney Eric Bland. He's also the co-host of the Cup of Justice podcast now. Eric, good morning. Oh boy, isn't this the million-dollar question? And we can't wait to hear your analysis on this. Do you think that this could have any effect truly on Murdaugh's bid for that new trial?
Good morning, Julie. From an optics standpoint, it is not good for the state and certainly benefits Alex Murdaugh. But when you break it down, there's 4 charges against Becky Hill. 3 have nothing to do with what she did during the trial. 1 does, and you just played it, regarding evidence that was admitted and sealed, and she purportedly gave it to a third party. But don't forget, when Justice Toll announced her verdict or her ruling where she wouldn't grant a new trial to Alex Murdaugh, she said she found Becky Hill to not be entirely credible, and that she wasn't relying on her testimony for her decision. This has always been a legal standard that's going to take place on appeal. She applied the state standard for jury tampering, where you have to show not only the juror interference, but that it had an effect on the jurors. 11 jurors, and I represented 6 of them, said it had 0 effect, whatever she may have done. 1 juror said it did, but Justice Toll did not find her credible. The defense said they should have applied the federal standard, which said all you have to show is juror interference. So on appeal, it's still going to come down to the legal standard. This is noise, and it is powerful that Becky is charged. But Justice Toll clearly said that she didn't find her entirely credible. So you said, well, is Alex going to ever get out of prison if this murder case is reversed, there's a hung jury on a new trial? The answer is no. That's why we work so hard on the financial crimes. He has 67 years of prison time in state and federal prison. He's 56 years old. So irrespective of what happens to the murder case, he's never getting out of prison.
Eric, awesome analysis, all of it. Thank you for that. Let me go back to one of the things you said. Becky Hill not being entirely credible, the judge making that finding. Thank you for reminding us of that, because it's been a while since we've seen that testimony, and you're right, that was something that the justice noted when she was delivering her findings and in her opinion. So we've got a clip of Becky Hill on the stand. Let's look back at some more of what she told the court at that hearing.
Did your comments, or were your comments in any way phrased in favor of one side or against another side, or were they more of a neutral comment about paying attention?
No, it was not for one side or the other.
During the course of the deliberations, once the jury went back there, did you have any contact with the juries or have any substantive discussion with them?
Not at all.
Okay, Eric, that was just a little clip. As you know, there was so much more that came out of that. And I think a lot of people were perturbed that a clerk of court would insert themselves in this process in such a way so that there was even a question about it. There should never have been a question. In all your years of practice in South Carolina, have you ever seen anything like this where a clerk has behaved in such a way? And now I understand these charges now are all allegations. She's cloaked in the presumption of innocence. But we know that there was a book, and that's kind of what I'm talking about, the writing of the book and sort of making herself the center of the attention.
No, I never have, and quite frankly, I don't know anyone that has had that experience. She's an elected official. She's a court officer. She has to be beyond reproach. She clearly took advantage of the moment. She got swept up in it. We all did. I did. But I'm not a court officer. I had the right to go on TV. But she got caught up in it. She was going to write a book. And I think because she was so involved in every aspect of the trial, from the bailiffs to the jury to being privy to private counsel meetings between the lawyers and the judge, she got the feeling of dominance and importance. You know, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And she got swept up in the moment. I'm disgusted by the allegations regarding her. She has to be fully prosecuted. But at the same time, let's not lose focus of what the issue of this appeal is. It really has nothing to do with Becky Hill. It has more to do with the legal standard that Justice Toll applied.
I appreciate you explaining that to us, Eric. Interference and effect on the jury is what she applied, and you said the Murdaugh defense team is trying to say that it should have been just interference alone that would have been enough to send things back down for a new trial. So I would imagine they're going to be making some moves, as you know, with some filings, and I'm sure we're going to want to have you back on, Eric, for that when they make their next motion. We got to let you go. Eric Bland, thank you so much for everything this morning. Always a pleasure to have you.